Hi, my name is Janice. Today I'm going to talk about this topic on do you believe the OT believers, do they actually go to heaven after they die, or do they went other place? So I'd like to share my views on this, and also starting from the Bible, why I have this view. So let me share with you my slides, which I prepared. Okay, so basically I'll cover on the Old Testament believers go to heaven when they died, or did they went some other place? So, waiting place. Some Christians, they think the Old Testament saints, they did not go to heaven immediately after they died. They went to a place specially created by God. They must wait until Jesus Christ sacrificed himself on the cross for their sins. The sins were atoned for by Jesus Christ's death at the cross. And when the temple curtain was broken into two, when Jesus died, believers can now freely access to God. Heaven is now open to them. And some of those says that the Apostle Creed, right, mentions Jesus went to hell before his resurrection, to life after his death. And based on this Apostle Creed, they say that Christians, those OT believers, they actually are waiting for Jesus to bring them from the hell to heaven. So Jesus actually went to hell and take them to go to heaven. This is what they say. Yeah, based on the Apostle Creed. So how about my view? Let me show it to you. This is actually, by the way, this is not my view. The reason why I created this video, this writing, these slides, is to share with you my thoughts about what I feel, which I believe that the others' views on this is not the same as my view. I don't believe there's actually a waiting place before going to heaven. Okay, why do I say that? By the way, beside this, right, I want to tell you that one pastor actually said that the first person that actually went to heaven is actually a thief beside, remember the two thieves beside Jesus at the cross? One of them actually went to heaven with Jesus after he admitted, acknowledged Jesus and all, and asked him to bring him. Some people think basically this pastor said, recently I came across this pastor said that this thief that actually go to heaven is actually the first person to go to heaven. When I heard that, I find it strange. I don't agree to what his teaching is. He's not the first person to actually go to heaven. There are other Old Testament people who actually went to heaven before this thief who went to heaven. So I'd like to correct him and others who believe that that the thief is actually the first person to go to heaven. It's actually not correct. So let me use the Bible to show you the references why I say that this is not the thief who actually go to the heaven is the first person. Okay, and also why I say that there's no waiting place before going to heaven. So let me go straight to the verses. You know, when I first heard the pastor that mentioned about the thief going to heaven being the first, right? The first impression in my mind is actually Moses and Elijah during Jesus' transfiguration. Moses appeared together with Elijah. So during his transfiguration. So yeah, you know, when you see that there's Moses together with Elijah, you know, Elijah is actually in the Bible, God says that they bring Elijah to heaven, right? which is found in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 1 and 11. And when Moses is with Elijah, this means that Moses is together with Elijah in heaven. Okay, together with Elijah in heaven. So, yeah, this is what I believe, that Moses is also in heaven together with Elijah. Okay, so that means the thief is not the first person. Okay, there are other people way ahead before the thief went to heaven. Okay, so let me read to you the Bible verse for 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 1. Elijah taken to the heaven. When the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heavens in a whirlwind, Elijah and Elisha were on their way from Gilgal. In 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 11. As they were walking along and talking together, suddenly a chariot of fire and horses of fire appeared and separated the two of them, and Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. Okay, and then there's so the verses on the Jesus justification is actually from Matthew chapter 17, verse 1 to 3. Let me read to you. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brothers of James, and led them up a high mountain by themselves. Then he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. Just then there appeared before them Moses and Elijah, talking with Jesus. Okay. Then there are also Enoch. You know Enoch? Who is Enoch? Enoch is actually the great-grandfather of Noah. He was actually taken to heaven by God. Okay, actually it's in Genesis. It will talk about that. But let me show you the verse for Hebrews. Hebrews also talk about that. Hebrews has a better, clearer writing that he's actually taken by God. So in Hebrews 11 verse 5, by faith Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. That means he didn't die. He just suddenly been taken off, just like Elijah. Elijah was suddenly taken off. Both Elijah and Enoch, they didn't die. They just taken off by God to heaven straight. He could not be found. So basically Enoch could not be found because God has taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleases God. Okay, so he and Elijah has the same encounter in the sense that they suddenly just disappeared. God just took them away. They didn't die. Nobody can find their bodies and bones. Okay, so Hebrews 11 verse 5. Another thing is Hebrews 11 is actually one of the Bible chapters that caught my attention for many years. Hebrews 11. It's all about heroes of faith. Okay, heroes of faith. All the people in heroes of faith in Hebrews 11, right? They were actually waiting, looking forward to go to heaven. They were suffering terribly in earth, and they were looking to heaven. Let me show you the verse. It's actually Hebrews 11, 13 to 16. Okay. All these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance, admitting that they were foreigners and strangers on earth. People who say such things show that they are looking for a country of their own. If they have been thinking of the country they had left, they will have opportunity to return. Still, they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. So these verses clearly show that God has prepared a place for them in heaven. They were looking forward to go to heaven. They were suffering and earth. They find themselves like foreigners in earth. And so yeah, basically that is I just want to show you the Hebrews 11 on the people faith. And then later on, after Hebrews 11, right, Hebrews 12, verse 23, God reaffirmed this with his word on this chapter 23, chapter 12, Hebrews 12, verse 23. Okay, let me read to this verse. To the church of the firstborn, whose names are written in heaven, you have come to God, the judge of all, to the spirits of the righteous made perfect. The church of the firstborn, you see the word, the church of the firstborn. These are actually referring to the people earlier, right? The earlier Jews, who has actually passed away, the firstborns, okay, the first believers, like Abraham and others, okay, the church, the first people who are firstborn, okay, first Christians, the Jews and all that. So of our forefathers way ahead, they are the firstborn and they are written in heaven. So they have a place in heaven. Okay, they went to heaven. And then there's this rich man and Lazarus. You know, this rich man and Lazarus, sighting is actually found in Luke chapter 16, verse 19 to 26. The rich man actually went to hell, and then the beggar went to heaven, and it's with Abraham. So let me read the verse. There was a rich man who was dressed in purple and fine linen, and lived in luxury every day. At his gate was laid a beggar named Lazarus, together with sores, and longing to eat what fell from the rich man's table. Even the dogs came and licked his sores. Okay. The time came when the beggar died, and the angels carried him to Abraham's side. The rich man also died and was buried. In Hades, he was in torment. He looked up and saw Abraham from far away, with Lazarus by his side. Okay, so this verse clearly shows us that the beggar is actually with Abraham in heaven. You know, there's a mention of what angels carry him to Abraham's side. The angels couldn't be coming from hell, right? It's actually coming from heaven, right? So when there's angels, means the beggar is brought to heaven. You know, there's this, I recently came across a pastor who told me that this verse is actually saying that likely Abraham and the beggar is actually at another side of hell, still waiting to be going to heaven. So they are at different place, but that place in hell is not a torture place. Again, I find it strange the way he explained it. I don't agree with him, because clearly this says that it's actually very far away. And there's the word angels. As I said, angels is from heaven. Angels cannot bring you to hell. Okay? Okay, angels don't bring you to hell. It's angels brings you to heaven. Bring you to heaven. Okay, so angels actually carried him to Abraham's side, which is in heaven. I hope this clarifies your doubts about going to heaven. Okay, so also some of the pastors, I just want you to see this verse clearly. What I feel should be the right way of belief. That the beggar and Abraham are actually in heaven. This is my firm belief on that. Okay, they are not in hell. They are not in another place waiting for Jesus to come and bring them to heaven. Okay. So basically, these are the verses I shared about why I firmly believe that this the OT people actually goes to heaven instead of hell. Okay. So yeah, let me summarize on this. Yeah, so basically, there are Bible verses supporting the claim that OT believers went to heaven. Although some claim that these are not sufficient proof, the Bible word is true and accurate. The Bible word is true and accurate. The Bible's verses I mentioned earlier were clearly evidence. I don't know why there are still people, teachers, lecturers, pastors, saying that these are not sufficient evidence, but believe in God's word. God's words is the truth. We should not think that OT believers were actually in hell. Okay? Some Christian, including some pastors and Catholics, still think they can't go to heaven. Even now in the current situation, some churches, pastors and Catholics, and some Christians, they think that they can't go to heaven because they are impure, that they need to be in some place to be purified, the purgatory, the show, at some waiting place. I find it strange because didn't the Bible clearly say that we are already sanctified by God, Jesus Christ, who died at the cross for our sins? So I don't believe that there will be we need to go to a place, a purgatory, a show, some waiting place. A show is actually a place of darkness. I don't believe that we Christians are not a place light. We can't be in a place of darkness. We are light. Okay, we are light. So, and basically, Jesus paid for the sins of believers by dying at the cross. We do not need any further sanctification. I really hope that this clears your doubts about OT people, believers going to heaven. And also for us now, yeah, we can go to heaven. So don't think that you are unclean. Yeah, you are justified by Jesus Christ at the cross. He had died at the cross for sins. So don't doubt. Don't doubt, okay? Even though some pastors are saying that to their church congregation, that they will go to show or purgatory, which this is not the correct teaching. I just want to say that this is not the correct teaching. It's clearly we are supposed to go to heaven. We are not going to hell or purgatory or show. Yeah, so this is my firm belief. Yeah. I hope this helps you and encourages you. Yeah. Thanks for watching. And may God give you peace. Shalom. I hope this sharing give you peace. God bless. Goodbye.